So, me, trash man, whatever you want to call me. And I know in the beginning when I did my, hey, I'm coming back to YouTube and this is what my channel's gonna be about, I mentioned that I don't really want to talk about body mods anymore. But guess what? My subscribers can have a video about body mods as a treat. So I think that's just what I'm gonna do. Here's the thing. There was a point in my life, starting from in the middle of high school until I started having a career in graphic design, where I really wanted to have a career in body mods, be it a piercer or something else. I don't know, a content creator for a really cool company that sells body jewelry online. And I got really, really close to that happening. I got so close to that happening. I even got very close to becoming a body piercer. I worked in a shop for a few months before realizing, holy shit, I don't actually want to do that. So that's where I'm at. There was an entire summer, I think it was like 2017 or 2018, where I was getting lots of flash tattoos. And I was just like, this is sick. Maybe I want to become a stick and poke tattoo artist. I'm not very good at drawing. Why would I want to become a stick and poke tattoo artist? Because it seemed cool and a lot of my friends were doing it. There was a point where I'm just like, oh yeah, I want to make a YouTube channel all about body modification. And then I took a break in 2019 where I regrouped and decided that's not what I want to do. So, although my channel will predominantly not have a lot of body mod videos like it used to in the past, I know a lot of subscribers who came to my channel were looking for that because I still get comments after comments on my previous videos about body modification, and although it still kind of interests me, it's not going to make up the majority of the content you see in my channel. I still have some stuff to say about body modification, and there will sometimes be like the odd video or two on my channel about body modification. Like, I still have some things to talk about, like certain piercings or certain piercing areas, certain things about tattoos, but after a while I just get burnt out and it doesn't interest me. But with that being said, I do have a video today that's going to be all about my stretched, stacked septum. Stretched, stacked septum. So let's dive in. This is actually a video that I've been wanting to make for a little while, ever since I started stretching and like stacking my septum. I'm sure you've seen all my stretch septum videos in the past. I looked like such a fucking baby. That's crazy. 2018, where I had the big ol' 8-gauge septum captive in my nose, and like it looked really cool. And then I decided, after being on the fence about whether or not to stack my septum, I decided to just go for it. And this is a video about that. I decided on stacking my septum in 2019. In the videos on my channel, you'll notice that it is totally not stacked. I've got a big old piece of jewelry in it. And then I'm like, you know what? It's finally to just put a bunch of rings in there and see what happens. A stacked septum compared to a stretch septum, while both are very appealing to me aesthetically, I think that there is more versatility with a stacked septum. You'll see in my old videos, I'm wearing like this big captive ring, and that looked really cool, and it was like pretty predominant on my face. And then I decided I'm going to put tiny dainty rings in it, and it made me look more mature in a way. Like, I went from a scene kid to like a normal person. A normal person. Which is like, it's fine. So this is how I did it. Yum. My septum was stretched to an 8-gauge. I did this over the span of a year, from probably over the span of 2 years. I don't know math. and I don't know timelines. It took a while. It took a long time. And I finally got to a 8 gauge. 8 gauge is 3 millimeters, and I had this beautiful captive ring. It was Nobium, which is a material that I really like, and it was very comfortable. And then I decided to swap it out for tiny 18 gauge, which is 1 millimeter segment rings. There are a few different types of styles you can get, like in terms of rings. You can get a captive ring, which is closed by a bead. Segment ring, pull apart like that. You can get a seamless ring, like a hinged sort of deal, which has a hinge on it. The reason why I like stacked septums is because you can wear a variety of things in your septum in different orders to create a really beautiful layered look, and that is what I'm trying to do. You can also make it look extravagant with like a beautiful decorative seamless ring in the back of your septum with like tiny seamless rings in the front, or you can make it look very simple and elegant with just some seamless rings stacked together, which is what I did. In the future, when the piercing shops are all open again and check out jewelry, I will be looking for a beautiful new piece to put into my septum. What I chose right now are 18 gauge seamless rings. So they are the rings that are hinged and they are titanium. I only choose implant grade jewelry to wear in all my piercings. How it gets a color is they do something called anodizing it, which I don't remember what that is off the top of my head. It's easy to Google, but like it's basically where they change the color without it being plated or colored with any harmful material or anything like that. So it's very safe to wear in the body, especially in fresh piercings. It's safe for that if you wanted something colorful in your piercings without having to put your fresh new piercing in danger. It's also good for initial piercings. So that's what I have in my septum stack right now, but I have 4 of them stacked in my septum. My septum was at an 8 gauge when I started stacking it, which is 3 millimeters, and 18 gauge, which are the pieces that I have in my septum right now, are 1 millimeter, so I have 4 of them. So I actually went up a size slightly by just putting in stacked segment rings. Originally, my stack was anodized rose gold, and a lot of the pieces in my face are rose gold and white opal themed, but the problem with anodizing jewelry when you have it in like a mucus or like, it sounds so gross, but like a wetter area, the anodization will wear off over time. That doesn't mean it's flaking off or anything. It's just wearing off and you have to re-anodize it. So now I have like 4 weird looking, not super shiny silver pieces in my septum that I am very much wanting to re-anodize. Okay, hold on. I have something on my eyeball. Okay, hold on. My tongue piercing. The ball used to be rose gold too, because I was having a rose gold setup in my face, and it wore off. Because I think rose gold, I don't know what it is, but rose gold and brass colored anodization don't really last that long, I've noticed. And when I talk to other people who have like rose gold or brass colored anodization in their pieces, they also complain about how it's worn off as well. So I'm thinking I might go purple next or something like that. How I originally started stacking is I had my 8 gauge piece. Then I took as many segment rings that I could fit comfortably in my septum as I could. So I started off with 3 because I was like, oh, if 18 gauge is what these segment rings are, then technically I can fit 3 of these in my septum, because 8 gauge is 3 millimeters and 18 gauge is 1 millimeter. So I was just like, okay, 3 comfortably in there. So I put 3 in there and it was perfect. And then the next day I put another one, didn't feel anything. So it was 4 millimeters. Then I put another one, didn't feel anything. And then you can also stretch by that, but your fistula, which is the skin around the piercing hole, I know it sounds freaking gross, will stretch a little bit more. A little chaos software tunnel that I have, when your piercing is stretched to a certain gauge, it'll be round. Your fistula will be round. It'll be like a circle. So this is the piece that I had before. It's so beautiful. Completely perfectly circle. When you start stretching your piercing with segments of rings, different rings, you will notice that the fistula, so the hole that you put your piercing in, isn't going to be perfectly round. It's going to become more oblong. So when you're going to want to put another round piece of jewelry in, it's going to cause you some troubles because your fistula is now a new shape. Even though my septum is a little bit more stretched, 5 millimeters now instead of 3 millimeters, I'm going to have a hard time putting a round piece of jewelry back into the hole, which is now probably more like this shape instead of this shape. So like, it's going to be a little bit more uncomfortable. With my septum before it was stacked, when it was just an 8 gauge, I wore 3 different pieces of jewelry. So I have this titanium circular barbell, also known as a horseshoe barbell. It's internally threaded by Anatometal, very high quality, made in the USA, super shiny. But I wore this in my septum. It was a very large looking piece. Then I also had this it's a beautiful black Glassware Studios piece in 8 gauge. It was really nice. I would have to wear O-rings with this, which made it a little bit uncomfortable because I'm a human being. I've got nose hair. When it's inside your septum and you're putting O-rings in it, it kind of pinches, and like I would always lose the O-rings and then it would come out while I'm sleeping. It was a very pretty piece and it was very delicate and it looked very cute and like dainty, but it wasn't a piece that I should wear like all the time. It is a super nice piece. This was when I was stretching my septum in September 28th, 2014. And then I would always wear this beautiful Neubium with a rubber captive ring in my septum as a daily thing because it was so easy to wear. I would take the rubber off and just put it back on. This was easier because like a captive ring with a metal ball at this size would have been impossible to put the ball in without pliers. So a rubber ball in this size of a captive made things so much easier. Basically, I would wear 3 pieces in my stretch septum. Didn't know what else to wear. I also had this really pretty, fancy looking piece of jewelry with a 8 gauge adapter. So I could just wear it through, but like I was never able to get this thing in properly. It was so finicky and so annoying, and I always have my nails long, so it was like extra just hard to deal with. And then I would also wear a very long 8 gauge eyelet, so like a tunnel, in my nose to conceal my septum piercing. And those OG subscribers who've been watching me since the beginning and who came here for my body mod related YouTube videos might have known, but my stepdad didn't know I had a septum piercing. Finally, when I started stacking my septum, he saw it, didn't give a shit. I think that's just what happens when you become an adult. Yeah, that's like one thing that I was worried about when stacking my septum. I was worried about what my dad would say. Even though it's my body, my choice, and stuff like that, I do want my dad to still support me if I'm in trouble. You know what I mean? What I want to do right now with you, while the piercing shops aren't open, I wanted to shop around for a new pretty septum stack setup. Got Pinterest open right here. Do I have a Body Mods one? I thought I had a Body Mods one. Hair inspo. All e-girl shit. This is so gorgeous. So, like, if you want to see something a little bit more extreme, this is probably one of them. This person has multiple stacks in here. I'm counting probably around 7 or 8. They've got, like, filigree stuff. They've got stuff with pearls. They have normal segment rings. This is all gold jewelry. It just looks absolutely breathtaking to me. And they also have like a gorgeous setup with the double nostril, the philtrum, and the inverted labret piercing. And it just looks so gorgeous to me. And this person, I know who this is. I've been following them for a while. They've have like an extreme sort of look to them as well. They have like probably 2 segment rings in the middle with like a very pretty opal setup in the front with like a filigree septum segment in the back with matching jewelry everywhere, of course. So this is a simple one. They have 2 segment rings and then 1 sort of beaded ring in the back. It's really nice, and it's all BVLA, of course. Like, this is an expensive setup. This is something that I want. So this person has sort of a hammered segment ring, 2 hammered segment rings, and then 1 with like beaded jewelry in the back, and it looks very pretty. This is just an example. You can do so much with a stacked septum. You can have something very simple looking, or you can have something very extra. So that's why I changed my septum into a stacked septum. Like every piercing, listen to your body, keep it clean, leave it the fuck alone. Like I was wearing a sterling silver piece of jewelry at the back of my stack, and my septum started feeling a little bit irritated. Sterling jewelry usually doesn't bother me, but I was wearing it every single day for like probably about a month, so it felt not great. That's all I want to talk about in terms of my stacked septum. When I get around to like getting new pieces of jewelry for it, I'll probably talk about it more. If you like this video, please give it a like. Remember to subscribe and follow me. I won't be doing body mod related videos all the time, maybe once a month or once in a blue moon, but the other content that I make is really funny in my opinion. It's mostly commentary videos or vlogs or reaction videos, so if you like that kind of stuff, you should give me a follow. And if you just like this video, give it a thumbs up and watch my other body mods related videos. I have an entire playlist of body mods related stuff, so you can definitely look at that. And remember to hit the bell, because that gives you a notification whenever I upload, and that would help me a lot, because I'll upload something and then people would be like, oh, you haven't uploaded in a long time. And I'd be like, yeah, I'm not really paying attention to that. Oh, wait, I did upload. You just didn't get a notification for it. So you gotta hit the bell. And yeah, I'll see you on the next time. Bye.